How are the details of a destroyed car presented in GTA 5 and GTA 4? We will see that as a whole, so let's go ahead. Let's take a direct example with a heavy car. We deliberately chose this car so that the debris behind it would be thrown into the air. So here we go. Apparently, the debris from the van doesn't get tossed into the air.
Surprise, motherfucker!
It remains intact even when it hits the ground, and the car can still drive miraculously. The unrealistic small details like the windshield and bumper being unaffected are just the result of this fall. We prefer to choose a very heavy vehicle like a bus. So let's go. There are significant impacts on the vehicle. We can see real impacts that have occurred on the bus. It affects many parts of the vehicle. And it seems more realistic. The car is severely tilted. And the impact of the blows suffered by the vehicle is truly visible. We opted for a lightweight car instead for the next part. So let's go. The effects should be more interesting. Oh, apparently the car in GTA 5 remains intact and can still work. A minor scratch on the car bumper from the impact is really unrealistic.
Oh my God!
After thousands of tests, I was able to reach this conclusion, so act like nothing happened. The impact of this lightweight car at this distance should even make it explode. Let's see. The car is completely torn apart, and the impact is clearly very strong all over the body of the vehicle. It's a very nice and detailed stunt with realistic car damage. Quite realistic. We will puncture all the tires of this car. We will test how the tires react in this case. The tire bursts very quickly, leaving only the rims intact. It happens rather quickly, even after driving a few meters. So it's less realistic than expected. Let's shoot the tires and see the tires' reaction. The tires are properly deflated. There are small tire marks visible. When there is a minor road failure, the tire bursts. It's quite realistic. It's important to note that even with a long journey, the tires don't burst so quickly. In the end, not all the tires burst, but there's still one left. This is generally due to factors such as weight, the speed of the car, and road conditions. Quite realistic. We are going to create an accident to see the effect if it seems realistic. We are driving fast enough to have a good car collision. There is a real impact, but it seems to have less effect on the vehicle's bodywork. At this speed, we could have had a good destruction, but unfortunately, it seems less realistic in GTA 5. Now let's test it on GTA 4. For me, it's a much more realistic game, so let's see what happens. A nice vehicle collision occurs. The impact seems to be very strong, and it deforms the vehicle's bodywork at an angle, which is quite realistic. Colliding with a train is much more exciting, as the damage is severe. Our car is completely flattened. Let's test it a second time. We have really significant damage. But with this collision, we could have achieved more than just simple damage. Let's test this collision in GTA 4. The impact is very strong, to the point where Nico gets ejected from the car.
Bruh.
As a result, the car catches fire and eventually explodes. And what happens if you literally crush cars? Well, in GTA 5, they exaggerate things a bit. With this car, any other object is likely to be crushed like a biscuit. The impact is quite realistic since our car is turned into a biscuit. The engine shouldn't start, but apparently it works.
Okay.
In GTA 4, we took a truck to crush this small car. It should only affect the vehicle's hood. Apparently, it really had an effect on the appearance of the vehicle, and it's quite realistic with this dent on the roof. We are satisfied with the result. Let's put the car in the water, especially the engine. Logically, it shouldn't work. In GTA 5, the engine shuts off and the car remains immobile. Which is quite realistic. In GTA 4, let's perform the same test. We observe that the engine is in the water, but the car still functions. And even if we go deeper, the car remains powerful. Which is not realistic. We will crash into a wall to see the effect on the car. With such speed, we can expect a real consequence. It seems quite realistic, but with this speed, we could have had a better outcome. In GTA 4, this should be much more realistic. With high speed, we will have a significant collision. The engine is affected, and it heats up quite realistically. Nevertheless, it still works. GTA 4 is rather satisfying in the details. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care of you guys.